This episode is brought to you by Sir Charles Hard Cider, which is proudly brewed in Philadelphia by Original 13 Cider Works. Visit their tasting room on American Street to enjoy their cider, as well as locally sourced food from their kitchen. Look for Sir Charles Hard Cider in local establishments and visit sircharlescider.com for more information.
Thanks for tuning in. This is part 2 of 2017. This is your tape.
Volcano Los Dos. Let's get into it. Anyway, the next thing on our list of things that we are leaving in 2017 is, not telling your friends. I wrote it down on the list when we were talking as not telling your friends the truth, but I think the context was not telling your friends the truth about their partners while they're dating them.
Let me tell you why this is real.
Go ahead, because I want to have rebuttal.
So I had one particular relationship that was a really long relationship, and someone that I probably should not have been in a relationship with, but we were really good at relationshiping. Like, we were great partners. We were great friends. But we broke up because we just shouldn't have been together. But I got really annoyed when, after we broke up, a bunch of people were like, oh my God, I knew that wasn't going to work. I knew y'all shouldn't have been together. I got really annoyed at that. So I don't want
like that nonsense.
I don't want that.
Yeah.
But what I do want is, I feel like in 2017, I had an abundance of friends who ended relationships where at the end of the relationship, I felt relieved because I no longer had to pretend to like the person. And so
I'm looking at you.
Go ahead. So as a friend, I want to be comfortable. And this is also part of just like getting older and being comfortable with who I am. I want to be more comfortable being honest about that person. So I don't want to, as a friend, say to you, you're better than this person. If you are, I'm gonna say it. But if all I have about it is a gut feeling, and that's, for me, that's not quite enough. Like, it's enough for me, but it's not enough for me to project that onto you. But if all I have is a gut feeling, then I'll keep that to myself. But I do want to be honest with you enough to say, I don't like so-and-so. I don't want to spend 6 months or a year or 18 months pretending to like this person, and then when y'all break up, like, I don't want to be the person that was all those people who said to me like, oh, I knew this wasn't going to work. I don't want to be that person. But I do want to be honest about, like, I don't believe this person for you.
Yeah.
Or you're better than this person. Or I feel like you're compromising or settling a lot to be with that person. Now, that said, I'm totally aware if someone were to say that to me tomorrow about my partner, then I'm going to be like,
we throwing hands, because we're throwing hands. This is the best relationship I had.
This is the best relationship I ever had. Mr. Clark is like a father.
I can't say.
But at the same time, like, so I think it's like this duality of the older that I get, the more honest that I become. And I want to embrace that in 2018 and just continue to be honest. But I want to balance that with, like, having care for people and leaving people with their own agency to make decisions about their own relationships.
Agency.
So, like, how do you, like, balance that? Like, this person is not good enough for you, but also I'm your friend and I support you.
It sounds like you balance it, though.
I personally need to learn how to balance it, apparently. So I'm going to just keep my fucking
But it is. I think, actually, I was expecting to disagree with you, but I'm on the same page. I think if it's just a gut feeling, and for me, my gut feeling is enough.
It's enough for me.
Yeah,
right.
That's the thing for me. Because it ain't even no Raven say into the future. It's like, oh, I can see this wouldn't work because they're exactly opposite of the things that you say you like. But if it's just a gut feeling, I'll give it to myself. I have thresholds, though. So if there's any level of anything that I smell like abuse, anything that smells like being taken advantage of, which is also abuse, those things,
any of that
gaslighting, I'll get real clear with you, and mostly because I also have a ticket. Like there's a price for me with advice. So like if you're one of my friends, you can come to me for advice anytime. I don't care. But if I'm giving you not like something to do, but if I'm telling you like this is what I see that I think is real because these are the things that lead me to it, and you then listen to me and then either get mad at me or pretend that it doesn't, like it's not real, and then you come back to me for advice, then that's when the price kicks in. So it's like I'll tell you, like, if you asking me real questions, I'm gonna give you real advice. This person is bullshit. You're bullshit for liking them. I love you. I support you because you supported me with bullshit decisions. Hello, 2013 and every year before. But like that, like with you, like I have to be comfortable in my relationship with you.
Right.
And for me, honesty and transparency is important. So unless somebody's getting physically, emotionally, spiritually, psychologically hurt, I'm gonna stay in my lane. But the moment that stuff gets weird, I'll let you know what the situation is. But I ain't gonna come at you with the I knew you were hurt. I don't like that shit.
Yeah, like I don't like that shit. That should have fucking been like.
Yeah.
I'll share my initial
hard,
opinion.
Period.
You know, like if my friend is talking to someone and like I meet them and then like I have a weird vibe and they ask me like, so how was such and such? I'm not gonna be like, oh, they was cool. Like I'm not gonna fucking lie to you, bitch. I'm gonna just be like, I mean, they was alright.
Yeah, I love that.
Like,
they was alright.
They was alright. Yeah. You know, but like if I sense, like you said, like if I sense any level of abuse, gaslighting, manipulation, any of that shit, well, bitch,
you gonna get everything. Yeah,
you gonna know. You gonna fucking know.
And you can do with
it
as you will.
Right.
But my responsibility is to be like, hey.
Right. Like
especially if you ask me. I feel like people don't ask me for advice or opinions though. I like never get
they probably
asked.
know. That's
niggas don't want the truth.
Yeah. And I try to be really mindful of not giving unsolicited advice or opinions. I feel like people never ask me.
I feel like, is that the next one?
It is the next one.
Oh,
there you go.
We are seguist.
We are
the
seguist.
Today.
Professional seguist.
We are seguing, bitch.
We do this for a living.
I don't. Yeah, let's put that in the dumpster.
It's unsolicited advice.
About any goddamn topic.
Anything. One of my favorite quotes. And it's funny because like I have a really interesting relationship with Sean Jay-Z Carter. It's just an interesting relationship. But one of my favorite lines is from the Blueprint 3, and he says, everybody can tell you how to do it, they never did it. And I feel like that is like quintessential unsolicited advice. Like people love to like give you advice on stuff they don't know about or have never done or have never experienced or have never lived through. And it's like, I'm sorry, why are you telling me about this?
Why do you think you're an expert in this?
Why?
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks.
Oh, and I didn't ask? Okay. Keep going.
Oh, this thing I didn't ask you about? Oh, okay. Thanks.
I think
so, yeah, put that in there.
In that same camp, which is similar, but not completely similar, but I think it's similar enough. People keep trying to save my soul. I feel like 3 times this week, people have proselytized to me trying to save my soul. And it's interesting because they're always like, they are extra hard on, Jesus will take you anywhere you are. And I sit with myself and scan my list of sins and be like, which sin are you talking about? Like, is it the gay thing? Because I got over that in the 3rd grade.
What? We've been accepted that.
I had this really strange relationship in the last apartment that I lived in. There was this man who lived on the block, older man, may or may not have owned the building I was living in. I never got clarity on that. But I'm Southern and like of a certain generation. So which was itself
Southern.
Huh?
Which was itself.
Yeah. And so I would give him this certain level of like respect and deference because of his age, right? Like he was presumably like my mom's generation and he was like not creepy and old. So I would like, give him this certain like dad-ish respect, right? He seemed harmless enough, but he was like always inviting me to his church. And I was always so offended because I know he was making assumptions about me. And like, he never asked me. So this was even when I was like regularly going to church, people would assume I knew nothing of church. And I'm like, you're making assumptions based on the way that I carry myself and the way that I look. And I just always wanted the opportunity. He would invite me to church and I wouldn't come. I would just be polite and then I wouldn't come. But I was like always looking for the opportunity to say like, bruh, you assumed Like I don't have a home. Like I have a church home that if I were going to go to church, I would go there.
Yeah.
I make the decision to not go there, which also means I'm not coming to your church. But like you never even asked me that.
No.
You just assumed
No.
that you were like reaching out and saving
No.
me.
Right.
You know what I
No.
mean?
No. Mm-mm.
And like, yeah, that combination of like generation and like my background is what kept me from like popping off on him. But I'm just like, you're making a lot of assumptions.
You know nothing about
Nothing. I remember I wrecked my car last year, 2016. I wrecked my car and no. Did I wreck my car? I had 2 cars that got like demolished. I can't remember if it was the one that was my fault or if it was the one that got hit while on the block. But he saw the car. Oh, I think it was the one that I actually did. But then I was able to still drive it and park it. And it was like, he assumed that, I also think he thought I was younger than I am. But he assumed that my car was wrecked because I was like living this like wild and crazy life. And like wrecked it. And he was just like, you know, Jesus loves you no matter what. And I'm just like,
What prompted you?
Thanks.
Yeah, I know. Thank you.
okay.
Is Jesus gonna fix my car?
I mean, because my insurance premium went up. Like,
About these loans.
Right, like
does Jesus
What about this life?
like,
Yeah.
just be like, Jesus will take you no matter where you are. So will my
what are you
ex.
right?
And, like,
What are you assuming about me? Like
Again, so will my ex.
I just
bitch.
Jesus is
And
my
on
ex.
that same vein, like, I think that when it comes to like unsolicited advice and like trying to save someone's soul, was one thing that I just realized that I want left in 2017 is the phrase "love and light." When like you will post about some very real shit, and niggas would be like sending you love and light, or be like sending you positive vibes, sending you good energy, and like you can
send me
mean that.
some Venmo.
Send me some fucking money, then, bitch.
Oh.
Like, and like the thing is, you can mean that as earnestly as you can mean anything, but it doesn't matter to me. Like, I don't need your love and light. You know, like, I just
You said it, Venmo.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Sometimes cash does help.
Look,
yeah.
If I'm having a situation, guess
Yeah.
what? You can send me $5.
Because I haven't
I'll
thought
accept
of
your $5.
I haven't
cash
thought of,
at
like,
me that
one-
moral support.
Yeah.
I haven't thought of one time that I've been like on the fucking edge this year that like money would not have helped. Like
That's real.
there's not been one time that I've wanted to like, you know, hurt myself this year that like money wouldn't have changed my situation a little
Right.
bit. So like, here's my thing, right? If you can't send me money, then I don't want love and light. You can pray for me. You don't gotta let me know
But you
that
ain't gotta
shit.
tell me that. Yeah.
right.
You
Yeah.
know, you don't
Yeah.
Because like
That's
you
real.
commented on my fucking status saying that you sending me love and light. Like, okay, girl, like that's like it just seems like
Okay.
a really
Are you sending me $10?
Yeah. Okay. It's like on Friday when the
Right.
mom gets into the car and she's waving to Miss Parker across the street. And Miss Parker's like, oh, we gotta get together. She's like, okay. Yeah, it's exactly that.
me waving at my bank account.
Yeah.
Me
Hey,
avoiding my bank
check-in.
account. I gotta write this check to move in to this place.
That's
I
so
too
real.
must write a
When I
check to
saw
move
that
in.
when I saw that first bill, I was like, what you? I was like, how am I
That's
gonna
real.
eat?
I mean, eating is like,
Do you need to
do
eat?
you need food?
You fat nigga.
Just breathe right quick. Have you some water. Eat you some sleep, like my
Yeah.
grandma used to
Yo,
say. Look,
I've
if you
eaten
told
so
my
much sleep in
grandma
my life.
after a certain hour that you were hungry, eat you some sleep.
Same. My household, drink water or make a wish sandwich.
Yes, a wish. Oh,
Yes.
I'm triggered. Jesus. Ooh. So what's next on the list? My chest hurt.
Jesus. I fucking wish sandwich.
Might have me a wish sandwich tonight,
wish I
especially with
had
the
a
snow
sandwich.
coming.
Ooh,
Ah.
tell me.
Look,
Now I'm gonna order some Chinese food. Let
cuddles
them deal
and
with
wish
this.
sandwich. Yes.
I'm trying to cuddle super hard tonight. All right. So we said we're
looking
leaving
your way.
homosexual.
Look, so I don't know if I had accepted this by the time we had the homosexual conversation. I don't know if I accepted it fully. I have been in one relationship with a homosexual.
Just one?
Just one.
Congratulations.
You know, because I do believe that you date your parents.
Oh,
And
I need to step out for this. Go ahead.
so my father, for all of his faults, like my father was a good father, terrible partner, like horrible partner. But for all of his faults, as a parent and as a partner, he was an excellent provider. Like he knew how to do that well. And even after my parents were divorced, it was like he still felt some sort of like moral obligation to, in some ways, provide for my mother and for our family. And so in that way, I do and have almost always dated my father. Like, I find providers that probably are also trash partners. Not always, but at bare minimum,
this is your tape.
They are. right. At bare minimum, they have been good providers. And so because of that,
that's real.
I have only dated
that's real.
one
Oh.
hobosexual. First and last, never again. But it's funny because more and more now, the further away from that relationship I get, the more I'm able to realize like the moments at which I should have realized the relationship was what it was. I have a new almost weekly moment where I'm like, oh, that's when you should have left. That's when you were supposed to know.
That's self-dragging.
Oh,
fucking hindsight, goddamn it,
girl.
Fucking hindsight.
I ain't got time for hindsight. It's probably why I'm single now.
Look,
and repeating the same mistakes.
You ain't got time for foresight either.
Look,
no hindsight, no foresight,
honey,
no now sight. I'm just blind.
Look, there are mistakes that I will probably like continue to perpetuate. The ones that led me into that hobosexual relationship, they ain't the ones. Nope. I will never again.
Dating homosexuals is not fun.
I will deal with all your problems, but I need you to be able to pay for my dinner.
Child.
I can look back on so many like situations that I could have pinpointed as like,
red flags.
Oh,
you know what's real? So much of my idea of romance is people just buying me food. I'm serious, like 100%.
I ended up in a 10-year relationship because somebody bought me food, and I'm not. That's not an exaggeration. That's not an exaggeration.
But that's like life goes.
Ooh. That's how he got me. Ooh. Look. We were in college, and we're friends now, or we were friends till his wife was like, no. But we're friendly. Like, we have love for each other.
This is everybody tape. Go ahead.
Look.
Everybody tape.
This is everyone.
But we were in college, and we were in college, and I went to Lincoln University, first HBCU. Anybody tells you different, then they went to an uncredited.
All right.
So anyway.
All right.
So I was at Lincoln, and
that is some Lincoln pride.
Lincoln pride. So I was from the South, and so there were certain like shorter holidays where the only students who were still on campus were like the African kids, the kids from the West Coast, and the kids from the South. And my friend at the time like capitalized on this and was like, oh, she hungry. She on campus by herself and she hungry. Let me offer her some Wawa. And
that's
so he called me.
Wawa's love.
Because I don't even think texting was a thing because that's how old I am. He called me and was like, yo, I'm coming back to campus. You hungry? And I was like, am I hungry?
Yes, nigga.
And he brought me a hogie.
Nope.
And we spent the next 10 years together because that's who I am.
Because that's the type of nigga I
am. But that's real.
That is real.
And we had a great relationship. So this was the person that I mentioned earlier. Like, we were great we just shouldn't have been together. But
wait, this is the one where y'all were fucking really well but didn't like each other?
No. That relationship came after that.
Okay.
Which I stayed in that relationship too long, the one where he didn't like me. I stayed in that relationship too long because people gave me hell for leaving the relationship before that. Like, people were like, he's a good provider, he's sweet, y'all get along, why would you break up with him? So then when I got with this dude who didn't like me, I stayed too long because I'm like, people had characterized me as a runner, and so I internalized that and stayed entirely too long. But now I'm in my 30s and I'm fine. But
I will run away from you with a cough.
Look.
Like, you say something wrong the first time.
Time to go.
Yep.
I need to start taking off to my father in that way.
Look.
Okay.
Yeah, what?
Was your father the dude in Harpo's Juke Joint when they started fighting?
Let's go.
Time to go. Look.
Yes, and my mama was Miss Sophia.
That's who you gotta be.
And I was Squeak.
Yeah. Can you please get out of my childhood?
Look.
Time to go.
This is who you gotta be. And that's actually who I am in relationships now, and I'm okay with it. And like, I don't know. I used to have this fear of like, I used to have this like anxiety around like every time I had an argument with somebody, it was like, oh, we about to break up.
Oh, yeah.
And I think now I've had enough breakups where I'm like, there's survival past this. You'll be fine. It's fine.
Wow.
But getting to that lesson.
What a concept.
My body, I think my body just this year, and I hate bringing everything back to my mom's passing, but so much of it I think is just, it was a watershed, but so much of it was exactly that. It was surviving that, recognizing like, oh, number one, I don't need you, nigga. Number two, like when I was imagining myself trying to go through this transition in a messed up relationship and just how much more that would be amplified.
Yes.
But then beyond all of that, like my orientation to relationships is so different right now. Like for the first time ever in my adult life, like I am saying, and this is 100% truthful, like I am not looking for a relationship. Like not actively at all. Like I am completely okay not being in a romantic relationship. And like that, it's like revolutionary. And I've had so many relationships where every fight, every disagreement, everything had to be like hyper examined because it was like, oh my God, we're gonna break up, we're gonna break up, we're gonna break up. But at this point, I'm like, save me the time. Save me the budget.
That's real. That's real.
Shit, what a concept. What a place to get to.
But you gotta get through it to get to the other side though. Because I feel like I'm 32 and I feel like I'm just coming to terms with how real that is. Like there is survival on the other side.
That's real. And that's also, I think, what has been so revolutionary in my current relationship is...
Speak truth. Come on.
Me not... Like, I don't put expectations on things. I put expectations on how you treat me.
Of course.
Amen.
Of course.
Because you're going to treat me...
Of course.
A particular way, or you're going to be alone. But...
A word.
Look... But I remember, and this is only within this relationship that I actually I had to examine within myself, like, why do you want to get married? Why is that important to you? What does that mean to you? Right? And so it was within that examination that I realized how many previous relationships I had spent like projecting into the future.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Not being present in the present moment.
Oh, yeah.
And when I finally let that go...
Talk about freedom.
Like, that is what has made my current relationship good. The acceptance of, here is where we are. This is what we're doing. This is who we are today. And that's all I'm concerned about. Like, and that makes me feel like, if we break up tomorrow... then that's tomorrow. That doesn't make today less special, less relevant, less important, less beautiful.
Come through. Come through.
And it's funny because I do tend to romanticize, like, particularly women, like famous women who have had like great loves and who just like own that.
Same. Yeah.
Like I think about like Erykah Badu.
Yeah.
I think about like Elizabeth Taylor. I think about Eartha Kitt, who has like that video that circulates where she's like, she won't compromise.
Yes.
Right. But like, who don't sort of fall into this idea that like you have to have this one great love and it has to be perfect and it has to be marriage and kids like who created that and why do we like buy into that? Like,
yes,
I can have these many great loves that mean these different things.
Come through, Nola, darling, darling.
Look,
come through, Nola, darling, darling.
And if I'm in that moment and accepting that thing, then that thing is beautiful,
and that's pure, and it's unto itself. It's meaningful.
Yes,
it does not have to have any other meaning except for that.
For that, and it has for me released so much anxiety. Like
the bags you ain't know you was carrying.
Look,
until you got there.
Put all those bags down.
Seriously.
My relationship is good today.
The amount of mental chatter that you were not realizing you were having.
All the time.
Oh my God.
I guess. To be quite motherfucking honest,
I mean,
I guess, and like I'm always the resident angry bitch of the podcast. I feel like I'm always the bitterest.
somebody
bitch.
has to be.
Someone has to be Aries life.
I mean,
but
Fire signs are trash. Hashtag.
I feel like my anger has sustained me thus far. And my anger is what's going to keep sustaining me.
look,
love that fucking statement.
but also anger is relevant.
I
it
haven't-
is,
like,
and
the
it's
thing
also
is, like, I haven't
survival,
been
and it's
able
also
to,
necessary.
Because someone else was like commenting on this, like a friend of mine has a poem about like memory, and she was just saying like, you know, like why can't I hold these like beautiful memories as they are and like have them be beautiful? And I tried and I can't. And it's not even just with like recent situations. It's like in general, you know, like my anger is way more productive than my longing, and my anger is more productive than my fondness. So like I can't afford
Flash forward to you like having angry fucking sex.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I mean, I also want to be clear though, like this idea that I have of great loves is not relevant to all of the people that I have loved. Some of those people are trash and I still do not speak to. Some of those people I run into very frequently in public spaces and I pretend not to know you.
This is your tape too.
This is your tape.
Because that is who you are and that is what you've earned. Like, you know what I mean? There is accountability.
Ooh.
Like,
that is my favorite goddamn word.
Look.
That is like the opposite of a safe word. What is it? A go word?
yes.
No, accountability. Nothing
Yeah.
will turn me on more
Yeah, no.
than accountability.
I only still have love for people who have
through.
earned that
Come through.
space.
Come through.
Like if my last memory of our interaction is you not taking accountability for the wrong that you did in our relationship, then
Why? What else is there?
you were still essentially dead to me. So like,
I don't know her.
no, yeah. You know, there's balance. Like there are
Yeah.
still people that I feel owe me an apology, and unless and until I get
No,
that,
that's real.
you're not a person that I speak of or remember fondly. You're a person who literally, and see, I have this.
And like, are
thing-
you a person though?
You're not.
You're not a person.
I literally don't speak my ex's names. Like if we're not friends,
Nigga, my friend hit the group chat once and said my ex's name, but like put a star in it the way that you would like
Yes.
without a cuss word.
Expletives.
Yes.
I was like, thank you for recognizing.
yeah,
I wanna see
that's
that
even
fucking
more
name typed out.
recognition than my exes get. Like my exes who I don't speak of or speak to are like, oh, that singing dude.
Yep.
Oh, the rapping
Yep.
one.
Yep.
Oh, the engineer. Like
Oh,
I
the
don't
heterosexual way.
look. Yeah, I don't speak their name. So you do have to earn a certain. It's mutual. You have to like earn a certain respect for me to be able to like even recognize that I ever knew you. But you know, for the ones who do, then it's like, oh, here's what we had, and this was a season, and it was beautiful, and it was great, and now I'm in a different place because I feel like people try to like project shame onto you about quote unquote failed relationships. And it's like, did it fail or did it just like end?
Because what does that even mean?
Right.
What does that even mean? I don't, and this is just me on my soapbox though. I don't believe in that only because, and this is not, I'm sure this is not the case for everyone, but I've learned essential parts of myself in every time I've given myself up for love, every relationship I've had. And I mean, I'm single, so to date, 100% of those relationships have ended. And a lot of them have ended in fireworks. And there is an essential beauty. This is one thing I have to bring it back to Miriam's point. I think anger can be productive. I think that this kind of like desire to go into the past and view things only in positive lights or as just purely beautiful things kind of removes them from the realm of them being alive and real. I don't think that, I think that as humans, most things have meanings that are forever being born. Why does something just have to be beautiful? And I can say in my life, nothing in my life has purely been beautiful. Like, but that doesn't diminish the fact that these are beautiful events. These are beautiful things.
Right.
So it's like,
And they're a part of you. They're a part of your story.
speak. So I feel like with relationships, and actually with this, my last relationship that ended, I remember as we were going through the process of breaking up, and it was like a particularly difficult time when we were breaking up, and and it was really just about that whole, well, you had to fail, you failed because this relationship ended, and and I was like, I don't buy into that narrative. It's like, I gave what I gave, you gave what you gave, I love you, period. Like, there will never be a point in time in the history of me being that I did not love you. I honor and cherish that. I recognize that the relationship didn't work because a relationship requires more than just love.
Right.
And that's what it is, and that's the lesson.
Yep.
But granted, none of my exes wear ratty wigs, so
child. Put her in the
dumpster, set it on fire.
Speaking of
Cleansing fire.
ratty, that brings me to our next thing on the list to leave in 2017. Darryl.
Ooh.
Yo draws.
Me?
Daryl's
I was like, you leaving me?
Yo draws.
leaving Daryl's draws in 2017.
Have you packed?
No, that would require foresight and like responsibility.
I started to bring you boxes today, but I didn't know how you were traveling.
Oh, boxes, yes. I'm hiring people to manually labor.
Yes.
My nipples just got
That's
hard.
sexy.
Oh, daddy.
I do not.
I bet they
You
wearing
tryna hire
whole
me?
draws too.
I got a pair of whole draws.
Yes.
So I can sign on to this. I am committed to buying new underwear that actually fit and that are not falling apart and that are actually sexy.
Yeah.
Actually sexy. And I say this
that
as
makes
a person.
me feel good about myself.
Well, that's because y'all drag me so much that some of my friends who listened to the episode literally had an intervention.
Good.
They're like, listen,
About your draws.
you have a fireplace, but you have like holes in your drawers?
I mean, look. That sounds like the kind of dragging I would give about one of my exes. Like, he had the nerve. He got a fireplace, but he got holes in the drawers.
So I am getting new drawers.
Yay.
I'm proud of getting new draws.
When are you signing your lease? Because I need that
The
check.
15th of December.
Daryl's moving into
Wait,
my building.
I actually already signed it. I'm moving in on the 15th.
Oh, I think when you move in is when I get my
the 15th.
referral.
Nice.
We're
So you'll
splitting
have,
it.
like, what,
I mean,
9
I'm ethical.
Daryl, hire me to move you into your building.
Yeah.
I hire you for everything.
Hey, someone's gotta. Another thing that I personally, we don't have to leave in 2017, but I personally leave in 2017, fucking for free.
Speak more.
That's an Akinelli song.
No, we have to have a conversation offline
All right.
about this.
Especially if you got
we
links.
do.
Wait,
We
a minute,
do.
wait a minute. Hold on.
We
Some of that
do.
context I don't have.
Oh.
I actually want them to be a guest on the show. To be 100%.
Oh, that would be so lit.
I thought it would be too.
See, and now y'all telling yourselves they gonna get on the show and the niggas gonna be like, oh, that's who wasn't fucking for free.
True. Don't remember. It's fine.
Whatever.
What's the little Men in Black like wand thing?
the memory stick?
Yes.
Ping pong.
Um.
Speaking of,
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna segue, but you got. more
I
to
mean,
say.
I don't think there's any more to add to that. Like,
No.
just don't.
Stop.
I mean, again, I tend to choose providers, so I don't know that there's a such thing in my life.
That's fine. Well, you know what? I guess that like there are multiple ways to pay people. Like
That's real.
you know what? I guess if I really think about it. So when I say
Shout out to our producer, Mark, with the trade sound effects in the background.
The trade?
Is that the trade?
Is that the trade?
the trade,
He says it in a way that when I was younger, I would speak of the Underground Railroad. I don't know why I draw that comparison, but I was so fascinated with Underground Railroad. I was like, it's a railroad underground.
Do you think there was
the trade?
trade on the Underground Railroad?
Do we need to get into this?
I think so.
I think many slaves were busting it wide the fuck open.
oh my God,
I think you're
somehow
right.
we got back to the first episode.
Listen!
Harriet Tubman was a tip drill.
Drill!
I'm not
Yes.
participating. Again, and
Harriet was.
You want me to follow the drinking gourd? Pull out your drinking gourd.
look,
Listen.
this is what I'm going to say. See, moments like this happen, and then another episode happens, and y'all are like, you're the conservative one? Yes! I am.
I hate this podcast.
I'm only
My
speaking
least
truth.
favorite podcast.
Me too. We're all trash individuals.
Jesus.
So yeah, there's
I
probably
know that Harriet
trade.
Tubman was a fucking stud though. Like if they had straps back then, first of all,
What you mean if they had straps back then?
you know they probably
These niggas picking cotton.
They had drinking
They had
gourds.
cotton straps.
What do you think they made the dicks out of? Oh my gosh, I'm really excited.
I know they-
Drinking
Drinking
gourds.
gourds.
They told you in the song, follow the drinking gourd.
You know what? I have so much ancestral presence that my ass is still following the
I
drinking
want some
gourd.
ancestral presence. I've been traveling north for 32 years. Nigga.
So anyway, Leaving in 2017.
I've been waiting in water to get the smell
Are
off of me.
all Underground Railroad references.
Waiting in water.
I just
You got to get the smell off.
wade in the water of your flooded basement.
Oh my God.
I quit.
So for 2018, I'm bringing back every.
So hashtag
Emancipation
3BF. What do you
reference.
think that Harriet Tubman made her strap out of? Like back then, like what do you?
No,
think
that is really interesting.
What were the
though.
dicks made out of? What were the
In
fucking
20
straps
and-
made
and-
out
and-
of?
So, I mean, there was produce.
There was produce.
There was produce.
And I mean, they whittled wood and stuff.
Uh-uh.
The first dildos were never
Daryl.
like wood and
Daryl,
like marble.
you've never like touched a vagina or something. Like you think
Ever.
wood?
I am a gold star gay. So no.
Nigga, don't you? My pussy's
My
offended.
soul
But
hurts right
I
now.
think that
Leaving the
may
table.
change tomorrow. I think someone's going to take my gold star gay V
That
card.
is true. You know what? Come back and
It's
tell
been
the
so
podcast
long since
how
I
that
had a
shit
virginity.
Oh.
I feel so.
Are you prepared for a vagina?
happened. Yeah, are you?
I'm going to do.
This
I
is
don't-
like Big Mouth.
Is that
I
what you
feel
do?
like-
No, that's not how you prepare for
Someone-
vagina.
Someone called me the male hormone monster.
I'm the female hormone
Ah!
monster. Multiple people have called me the hormone
And
monster.
again, I'm the conservative one. I don't know why y'all don't accept
Bubble
this.
bath.
My friend said you have this ability to find pleasure in sex in every situation. And I was like, well,
Yeah.
So on our next episode, are you going to report back about vagina?
Yeah, let us know how you
I
liked
will report back about vagina. 1, 2, I want to see if I can get our first guest because I really do feel like that person would be an amazing guest to talk about.
Yes.
We have to fill you in, Miriam.
it. Yeah, the fuck you
I
do.
don't understand
Yeah.
how you missed this.
I-
I'm
either.
always out of the loop. These fucking goddamn motherfucking vegans keep leaving me out of the loop.
Sorry.
It's because I eat meat.
This was
I have this really interesting, like, and I know it's like super heteronormative, like thinking, but I just have this weird, I just feel like,
It's because I'm a dyke.
no, it's like I have this weird, so like people who enjoy like, like man booty.
This is about to be a read. Go ahead. This is about to be a whole read. And this devilish laugh or smile that you just had.
I just don't understand how those same people don't think vagina is like that much better.
But I'm going to be honest because I've eaten a lot of man booty in my life.
It's better.
I
It's
don't
like
have
that
a concept
plus.
of rather my only concept of vaginas are ones that were formed in puberty. So my mental image of a vagina still has teeth. What?
Stop it.
Vagina dentata. Like
What?
it's a thing. Vagina dentata.
I just like it's like booty, but like better. It's prettier.
Does it taste like skin?
It's wetter. It's like more. It's more skin.
Daryl.
I got some notes. I got
Daryl,
notes. I got
Can
notes.
we touch and agree that this is Rhythm finally admitting that she's not straight?
Oh,
I mean, I've always.
Rhythm likes pussy. Real rhythms deserve pussy.
yes.
We are not gonna scissor this moment.
It's already scissored.
You are gonna scissor this moment.
Yes, it's already scissored.
I just feel
I'm
like,
gonna sing this all night now.
and again, I realize like it's a super problematic like line of thinking.
I don't think so though.
I just don't understand
think so.
how it's not like, oh, here's
Because if
this
you like
thing
this
I
act,
like,
yeah.
but here's this other thing that's like that, like way more, and like
It's
you know
bigger.
what?
The hole is like it makes it's juicy. It's like naturally just fucking.
And
oh my
poop
god!
doesn't
And
come
then
out
like
of it.
clitoris.
So,
my God.
these
so
are
how is
pluses.
this not a thing that you love?
How
I
do
just
you not
feel like
love eating pussy? How do you not eat pussy? Okay, there we go. Segue. Boom.
you are a professional segue.
professional fucking
Professional.
segues.
Because other things that we are leaving in 2017,
Speak it.
Motherfuckers who don't give head.
leave it.
Leave it.
For what?
Why are you?
And this is something that I did not think I was. Okay, I feel like Tyra, and I'm about to address Tiffany right now. This is something I did not think I would have to fucking address in 2017. But I
rooting for
went
you.
to a
all
fucking
rooting for
bar with a goddamn group of friends, and somebody told me that a nigga she was fucking with did not eat pussy.
She don't love herself.
She don't.
And it was even worse. It was a nigga that we were mutual friends with. Now, I thought I'm very careful about the cis men that I let into my spaces, but I thought
that's one that needs to be reformed.
That they would all be smart enough to, if you have the opportunity, if you have someone with a pussy in your life, eat their fucking pussy. What are you doing?
I have always wanted to eat pussy. That's just number one.
Oh, you might get to tomorrow, bud.
You might have to tomorrow.
Talk to me afterward. I can give you some pointers. I'm great at it.
My pointer is weed as foreplay. That's my pointer. It's still 2017.
I've been foreplaying so far since for the whole week. I'm like, if I'm going to be eating any kind of pussy, let me start smoking 7 days from now.
It's just like a booty hole. What's the Tiffany Haddish line? It's a booty hole.
But women and men are different.
It's a booty hole.
Even though I know that like it's imaginary.
It's psychological.
Okay, imagine the booty hole but with a hose in it, and it makes its own like juice.
It's beautiful.
And it's like a lot more like space to like put your tongue on, and like it's
great. Don't swallow if it makes you uncomfortable.
I don't have a concept of not swallowing.
You gotta swallow. You gotta.
Do you think so?
Don't wash your face afterward. Just like walk around with it, like exfoliate.
I like the scent in my beard anyway. That's the gift that keeps on giving. When you have sex in your beard, and speaking as a bearded gentleman, you have sex in your beard, and then you hit the sun. And then the sun bakes the sex more. Yes. And then it hits your nose. And you're like in a meeting talking about like taxes and stuff, because that's my life. And then I'm like, so here we go. If we increase the real estate tax to... And you just pause because like you were transported. It's like...
See, I don't feel like my man does that.
I think that you are lying to yourself.
I feel like he probably washes his face. Not at that night, but like in the morning.
I feel like
you feel like he goes to the meeting with it.
I feel like he savored the scent of your pussy.
Huh. That's poetic.
We have a no over there, but I think that
you
it's
agree
impossible.
with me.
Oh,
you disagree with? Yeah, I think
he is of.
Yeah. And he's like. So here's the thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take that back.
When dealing with like cishet dudes, right? There's like a spectrum of cleanliness. And there's a point right between like...
Except when it extends to their booty hole. But go ahead.
Well, so that's what I was going to say.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
There's a spectrum of... And this is like actually how I like judge cishet dudes. Like...
Mark's getting dragged.
There's like a level of cleanliness that is like very close to like queer men. And that's my preference. It's like that.
Then be clean.
That line of like cishet dudes that's like really close to queerness, because cishet dudes are nasty.
And then let me be the queer guy.
They're
to
dirty.
Be the other way. I'm rebalancing it because I'm attracted to dirty.
I know.
I am hella attracted to dirty.
I am hella attracted to like cishet dudes that are like almost clean enough to be queer. That's my sexuality.
If I'm going down on you and I smell nothing but soap,
you're a queer rhythm shit.
Somebody call my mom and tell her it's fine.
I don't want it. I'll take it, but I don't want it.
You don't want that? I do. So that is why I say that, and the combination of his nationality is why I say I am pretty certain in the morning, like in the night, he'll sleep with it and he'll like smell it and love it. But in the morning, he's like super scrubbing his face, I'm sure.
I can't do that.
Depending on the day, like I'll definitely like
it helps it grow.
Go with it.
It does.
Even though I'm not a bearded gentleman, obviously. But like depending on the day, I might fuck with it. Like if I'm going to work, I cannot. It's out of the question for me personally, myself, with my career. It's I can't do that.
You can't be talking to the kids.
Nope. Miss Blank. No, I can't do it. But if it's a Saturday, I'll go on a Saturday.
So I've had a really interesting experience. I don't know if you know this person. I'll ask you off air. But I was doing like this like artistic project with this person, this woman who I know was having sex with a woman who I know. Mm-hmm. I was actually closer to the other person. Mm-hmm. But anyway, we were doing this thing, and for some reason, her hand came really close to my face. And I was like, that's so-and-so. This is uncomfortable.
Oh, you smelled the other woman? Oh, that's so hot.
That is really
It
hot.
was a little bit hot,
I am
but it was
looking
a
at
little bit
purple
too
lustrous.
much. I was like,
Oh no, I like that.
I mean, there's definitely a wall being broken there.
I was like, sis, we've been here for
Hopefully.
like 4 hours. You ain't wash your hands.
No,
Maybe they like the smell.
nope.
It made me so uncomfortable because I was really cool with the person who I'm suddenly smelling, and I was just like, why do I smell you on her hands?
Sometimes
It was too much.
Sometimes it's just
That was a line for
Listen,
me.
Sometimes I just need a little bit of happy in my day, and if I can just sniff my top lip, this is more than I ever planned to share on the air. So like, let's just throw the whole topic away.
But here we are.
Speaking of, this is another segue.
What else are we putting in the trash?
I was gonna go to the host story, but we can keep throwing things away.
No, I think we should keep throwing things away and then we get to the host story.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay. What else are we putting in the trash on this list? Is okay. We've done boop 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 boop. White queers.
That feels so personal.
White queers who are ugly on purpose.
You're going to have to explain this to me.
Yeah,
All right.
I need definitions.
So I'm gonna give Philly context for our listeners who are outside of Philly. There's probably a neighborhood or a street.
Yeah, there's
in
an equivalent somewhere.
There's an equivalent, but in Philly it's Baltimore Avenue.
You have said enough for me.
How are you dragging Baltimore?
So you got
all
it,
of Baltimore
right?
Avenue?
No, you have the whole
I am
context.
completely up to date. I know
I
you're
am
up
Up
to
to date,
too.
right? So like if you go down Baltimore Avenue, there are always
You are so from Baltimore.
these. I am from Baltimore because that's how the fuck you say Baltimore. There's no
Yeah.
T in Baltimore.
Can you say hot dog?
No.
Can you say two?
Oh my god, no! Everyone got two hot dog. Fuck y'all. Damn it.
That gave me so much joy.
But yeah, so like if you go down Baltimore Avenue, there are always the ugliest fucking white queer. It's not. Here's my thing, right? I'm not a mean person. Oh, don't lie on air, Miriam. I'm not an unnecessarily callous person. I'm not unprovoked. I'm
That's
not
weird.
callous.
That's weird. I mean, that's real. I'm drunk.
weird.
I'm
Come on,
drunk.
Freudian slip.
That's real.
But yeah, but these motherfuckers have tried to be ugly. Like, first of all, turf bangs are an abomination. Besides the fact that if you have them, you're probably a fucking trans-exclusionary radical feminist. We're also leaving transphobia in 2017.
Yes.
Fucking like other note.
Yeah, we are.
But
let's leave all that in 2017.
these bitches will have turf bangs with a fucking Skrillex side cut. They'll look like a fucking English major at Temple. And those are all ugly. Saying this as a former English major, the white English majors are hit. And they'll have like the fucking shorts and shit. And they just look like they haven't showered, and they haven't. And it's not because they don't have the resources. They did it to make a point.
Yeah.
These are motherfuckers who are ugly because they're like, I'm going to stray away from European beauty standards. But bitch, you're a fucking European. You don't have a point to make.
Here's that.
All you bitches is ugly, and I'm ashamed and really saddened and disgusted. And that was the whole
And your
point.
family is wealthy. Like, stop.
What are you doing? Like,
That's so annoying. I actually got stopped by some students to talk about that the other day. And I was just like, I completely understand. But also, I went to an HBCU, so some of your problems are not my problems. And I'm really sorry you're experiencing that. So, yeah, all of that.
like
What's next?
Okay, boom, we've done that. Transphobia, we mentioned it briefly just now, but transphobia is being left
Yes.
in
Yeah.
2017. It should have been left
Yes.
in fucking
Yes.
1957. We're leaving it.
Yes.
We're leaving it.
You bitch. And the thing is, let's cover some fucking bases.
Yes.
Because people think that transphobia is like just like saying slurs or like the act of like, you know, like being violent toward trans people. There are ways that you think that you are not being transphobic, that you are being transphobic. And me being a cis woman, this is a self drag as well. Because
Right.
like there's still work that I have to
I'm
do.
dragging in myself in this. Go
Absolutely.
ahead. No.
Like the way that we joke sometimes, like the things that we say, like we can be transphobic and not realize that we're fucking like being transphobic. So the other day, I saw a tweet that was like, vaginas are awesome. Oh my God, I love it. Dicks are ew. Or so like some shit like that. And like, that's some shit that like, my gut reaction is to be like, fuck yeah. Cause like, I'm such a dyke. I love pussy. But I have to realize like, that's fucking transphobic as shit to be like, this whole piece of anatomy
Right.
is ew. And we're going to stigmatize an entire piece of anatomy. Like, who the fuck gave you the right? You know?
Right. That's like why. Like, not only is that transphobic, but it's like wild anti-feminist.
It really is.
Yeah.
Because how many women have penises?
Yeah, like, how many women have dicks? And you out here just saying this wild shit about
Right.
dicks. Like,
Also, they're beautiful. Thank you. So like, yeah, like there are many
also,
ways.
dicks are great.
Amazing. There are many ways that like, yeah, and I think that's the work is like constantly being accountable and constantly being willing to like drag yourself.
Absolutely.
Right? And like own that.
Yeah.
And be seen and recognize that it is a process.
Yes.
I think when I enter into most conversations about transphobia and most things in general, I identify myself as like, one, like working on my shit, like working on my shit. Like I grew up like everyone else grew up where, and I shouldn't say everyone, but I grew up in an environment where weirdly enough, gender fascism was real, even though like nothing else really worked in my house, including the electricity and stuff. But it's this notion of like men are men and women are women. And these are like the divisions of things. And somehow that stuck with me. And I actively have to will my way out of it. One, because I didn't identify the moniker of man until I feel like yesterday. So it's like, so I know that on some many levels it's made up, but also on so many levels it's like,
but here we are.
Um,
so that makes me think of having a conversation recently about being a cougar and like the benefits that come with being a cougar. And one of those benefits in 2017 is you find yourself dating men or a man to whom you don't have to explain concepts like transphobia, queerphobia, homophobia. It's a very different experience, like dating a man in his early 20s who has been more socialized to be conscious of those things than a man who's in his early to mid 30s. Much less like 40s or 50s, whatever. I have a range. But it was funny because in this thread where I was having this conversation, I wasn't even the person that brought it up. Like it's a thought that I've had.
Yeah.
But it was somebody else who brought up, like, it was a person on the thread and she was just like, yeah, my man is in his 20s and like he'll pop off on somebody about transphobia before I even have to like open my mouth.
Fuck yeah.
And I'm like, that's real. Like, it's just a very real fact that we've been socialized very different. And so in my particular relationship, men of his generation versus men of my generation are just two different kinds of people. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like millennials, which is not my generation, are just, and it's not to say that like millennials across the board are like super woke and like great, but you know, per capita, you're just more likely to like date like perhaps a cishet dude who like just doesn't carry with that like identity as much trash as a cishet dude in his 30s or 40s. And so that's refreshing and requires less of work of me. And so I feel like that's great. So be a cougar. That's the moral of the story. Embrace your cougar identity.
Embrace.
Get you. Plus his stamina is going to be like way higher than yours. And you could just like lay down.
You ain't preaching nothing
Look.
to the choir.
I'm really looking forward.
That's
to
how I
like,
stay young and keep my boyish looks.
Cougar at some point.
That's real because if you just like, it's almost like vampirism. Like if you just like, you like ingest their youth and it's like, it makes you like younger.
The thing is though, like these niggas is childish already. So I can't picture it, you know, like it's just not realistic.
When you're in your 30s though, just remember this moment.
Okay. Right now I'm shooting for to like, I'm like trying to like shoot for people like close to their 30s.
Yes.
Is like where I'm trying to go with
right.
it. So like, you know, is there a word for like reverse cougarism where I'm just like, if you
chicken hawking.
If you like almost 30 or
I was
like
just, gonna call it
just
dating.
past 30,
There
like holla at me, boo.
Yes.
All my 25-year-olds out there.
Yes.
What's going on?
That's real. But then like if you make it to mid 30s and that hasn't worked out for you, just find you a youngin'.
Man, stop asking for permission to be happy.
Look.
Get yourself one with stamina.
Yes.
And cream.
Yes.
Cream.
And sperm count if that's what you're looking for.
Oh.
You got to be strategic.
Cheegery.
Just saying.
Sperm count. Gross.
So anyway, is there anything else we're leaving in 2017 before we get to...
Well, you know what, the last
Can we talk about that, though? Because I feel like I just had this conversation with somebody. That person may or may not be in this room about, like... For me, personally, like, my reaction... Please, I pray, like, my mom and my boss aren't listening to this. But, like, my reaction to semen is very specific based on...
Oh, my God.
Relationship to the person
Okay.
from whom it came.
Okay. I think that's reasonable.
Generally speaking, I think semen is gross. It's just nasty. Like, biologically, it's just made to be nasty.
We don't share the same religion.
It's gross. It's nasty.
Daryl's like, can't relate.
It's disgusting. However, if I'm in relationship with the person, then it's like...
You like their nut?
It's tolerable.
The thing is, and this is totally whatever, I like nut.
Yes.
And I'm only sharing this much because we've been recording now for 2 hours. I'm drunk and exhausted.
Drunk and sleepy.
And yeah, I
actually can't believe I actually said that on air.
It's I'm just like, that was some wild boy shit for me to come out and say, but I like nut. I'm not. All right.
I don't have to say anything because everything's been said.
I mean, I think there's also like a psychological component to it, right? Like, it is the end result of what, if you allow your ego to take over, which usually you do during sex, it's the end result of accomplishment, right? Like, here's a thing that I did, and here's the proof of that thing. Where in the absence of said thing... can like give you a complex.
And see, that's where lesbians are different. Because I'm just like,
speak on it.
I'm like, I don't need proof. Okay, first of all,
the proof is the proof.
If we talking about like lesbian sex, nigga, I like nut is not the end game, because like I'm gon' nut. That's gonna happen. Like that's just the type of nigga I am. Like you know, and like we all gone nut multiple times.
You my spirit animal.
You don't have a spirit animal, Darryl. You're not native.
The devolution.
You don't know.
My mama said I'm Cherokee.
My mama said I am Cherokee. Jeep Grand.
Jeep Grand. I just want better for us.
But thank you for correcting me.
But it's not coming.
Thank you for correcting me.
They're going to eat. No, listen, if you want to drag us, please, we accept the discourse. We want to grow. Email.
Follow Miriam on
gmail.com. Don't follow me, bitch. I didn't say the shit. Hey, listen.
You said something.
I said something over the course of this motherfucking podcast that was problematic.
It's who we are. We're your problematic faves. Hi.
It's kind of like Thanksgiving.
My mom is my problematic fave. I love her fucking crazy ass.
My mom might be my problematic fave. My mom likes to like acknowledge that what she's about to say is problematic, but it's okay because she's not saying it in mixed company. She's only saying it to me, and even then she whispers it. She's like, so I don't know the proper term for this, but
see, my mama was young and wanted to be my friend. Rhonda, Big Ron
was the problematic fave.
Was the... How many times I've gotten calls from my mom with the recording? This call is coming from the Philadelphia.
Yeah.
My mom had a heart-to-heart with me once. She's like, Darryl, I'm tired of being on probation. And I was like, Rhonda! And I say all of that to say, bless my mom.
Yes.
Celebrate that.
Yes.
Bless all the moms.
Bless all the
My
mamas.
mother has gotten to a point with me where like she tried doing this when I was younger, but it was still in the thick of the trauma, so it wasn't funny. Like she is like me. We have the same sort of sense of humor, so we like to joke about trauma. But I'm like, you can't joke to me about trauma that you inflicted on me, mom.
Yeah.
But like
too soon.
We've gotten to that point now where like where we can joke about it together, because like I survived, so you know, like we both, I guess, sort of survived. But yeah, we were, for Thanksgiving, I was home and like I already gave my family strict instructions to listen to this. So if you are listening to this, you did it to yourself.
Look,
this is
you
your
were
tape.
warned.
This is your tape, Janae. God damn it, sister-in-law. This is your tape. I told you to not listen.
My asthma?
Yo, so I'm in the car with my mother and we had gone to get like cups or something very simple, and I had to go with her to make sure that she didn't do what she does best, which is leave without notice. And
that's real.
And she was
Thanksgiving, anyone?
we're driving in the car, and she was like, your uncle on drugs? And I was like,
yo.
And I was like, yeah, I thought everybody knew he was on drugs. She was like, really? Because you can't tell. I was like, yeah, what you mean? She was like, nah, because when I was on drugs, they wasn't letting me be around y'all, but he could just be around everybody. I was like, it's because I'm 24 now, Mom. I was 4 when you were on drugs.
She feels salty. She is
Your mom
mad.
was like, but equity requires.
How can he be around y'all?
She was like, you hugging your uncle and shit. He on drugs. I couldn't hug you when I was on drugs. I was 4.
Ma'am.
I'm 24 and I don't even live in this state.
I got your bike holiday. I got your bike.
Hey, yo, shut the fuck up, because Holiday Heart is my favorite film for that reason.
Shout out to Alfred Woodard.
Yo, I remember watching that shit as a kid and being like, and the scene where Nikki was like, I understand where one can hate her mother. Trigger. I was all angsty like, My grandma was like, shut up, I'm turning this off.
That was me watching The Corner, getting triggered.
Oh my God.
Fucking God, bitch, I got the bike, Holiday. That's me trying to like be successful and like grasp onto like some sense of reality.
So symbolic.
Like me hold the bike is like my sense of reality, my sense of security, my financial security, my emotional security. And I am Wanda. I got the bike, Holiday. In 2017 is the car. Okay.
Yo.
I'm trying to let you
Spoiler
know.
alert.
That's a synopsis to my whole year.
Look.
I am Wanda.
That's so real.
Trying to secure the bike, Holiday.
Secure the bike.
In 2017, the scene slows down. The song gets sadder. You hear Nikki's cries from home. And I get mowed the fuck over.
I feel like Holiday, like in the role of Holiday, is like the rest of the world. Like everybody else can see this and they're like, sis. And you're like, no, I got the bike. I got the bike.
I got the bike, Holiday. I got the bike,
I got the bike, Holiday.
Say, no, sis, sit down.
No, wait.
I know I got the bike. Don't worry. I got one thing, and it's the bike.
You're like, let me finish. I got the bike.
Like the bike is little shit, me trying to secure, and like, and then the car coming at me is my anxiety. How I haven't eaten all day because I'm a new teacher and I'm too anxious to eat. And I haven't slept in 3 days. I'm so tired.
We are all so drunk.
We're so good at devolving into like nonsense. So speaking of nonsense, our listener follow up by way of letter. Yes.
Yes, this has been a very pro-lesbian episode.
It has been.
I appreciate the space.
Yes.
I love dyke shit.
Yes.
Yes.
Is that the dance for that?
There's so many dances for dyke shit. I can show you all of them off air.
Yes.
Holla at your girl.
Yes. So who has the letter? Not me.
My ass don't, 'cause my shit charging over there.
And you know I'm irresponsible.
Oh, so nobody has the letter. Great. It's fantastic. I'm gonna like try to open this up.
What made y'all look at me? Like, I don't know what made y'all look at me.
Mark about to kick us off the network. Yo. Rhythm said, "Who has the letter?" That nigga looked at us like, "Y'all."
He goes, "Should we create a Facebook message? Will that get y'all communicate better?"
And he's like, could somebody get their life together? All right, so y'all talk about stuff while I pull up the letter.
All right, so
this is where we are.
Orgasms.
We could be better, but we are who we are.
We could be better, but we are where we are. And you know what? I think that that's honestly the theme ongoing is like, I am where I am, but I could be better. I don't have anything deeper to say, but that's literally it. That's just it.
Do you want to know the first time I heard the word orgasm? I don't even know.
Did you think it was organism? Was it science class?
So here we are.
Okay.
Yes. I was about 8 years old, and my mom was helping me with my science homework. Mm-hmm. We were at my grandmother's house. I don't think she had to have been there because she was like, she didn't drive and she was always there. I don't know where my grandmother is not in this memory, but she had to have been there. But my mom and her 2 sisters were in my grandmother's kitchen, and I asked my mom for homework help. And so my mom started reading my science work, and she read the word organism as orgasm.
Oh.
And then they all like cackled and cried.
Oh,
and I was like, but sis, are you helping me with my homework? And so I remember asking her like what was funny and why they were laughing, and of course nobody would tell me. And then years later, whenever I learned what the word orgasm, because this was before the internet, so years later, when I learned what the word orgasm meant, I remembered that moment. And of course, because I was like a weird child, I was like, they were laughing at me.
Oh,
but really, they were just like adults, like
laughing,
failing and laughing at that, like
orgasms.
Ha ha ha! We said orgasm instead of organism.
So it is host story time.
It's always host story time, actually.
TBH, this fucking podcast is just one big host story. But more specifically, this is our listener letter host story.
Yes.
And before I get into it, because this shit is juicy, this shit is good, and I'm excited because it's very gay. Motherfucking homosexual. But yeah, so I'm very excited. But you can always contribute to our host stories. Come fuck with us if you want to email 3blackfemmes@gmail.com or fuck with us at 3blackfemmes.com, where you can also get the recipes to our
lovely drinks.
Yep, lovely drinks. I've had 4. Yes. I have had 4. This one is diked cider instead of spiked cider. It's diked cider.
Yeah,
it is.
Cider.
Yeah, so like you can submit your host story, get the recipe to our drinks, listen to our podcast, see our nudes. Kidding. You can request our nudes.
Unless you want them.
I'm gonna say because Darryl's down to send some nudes. Sort of me too, as long as we don't get my tattoos in them.
That's real. Which is also a reason why I can't really take nudes. I'm like way more tattooed than I think I appear.
I would like to know the extent to which you are tattooed.
I mean, I have like 13 to 15 tattoos.
Oh.
Some of them are small, but like it just severely limits the ability to be photographed nude without being identifiable.
The thing is, I've been gave up and I only have 3 tattoos. One of them is big. And like, I send nudes of my face and my tats in them at this point because I'm just like, you know what? There's enough material out there to ruin my career. I had a poem about sex and one of my fucking students found it this summer. No, first of all, one of my employees found it and then showed it to a student.
Oh.
And I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? First of motherfucking ball. She's like, look at Miss Miriam. Look, bitch. Look at the unemployment line. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
But also I feel like some kind of way, like that's like, there's like a charge in there.
I mean, it was on YouTube.
I guess, but like you're showing it to a student who's probably underage, so like
it was like a student intern. They were like in 10th grade. It was like ha 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 ha, and it was a funny poem. So like they kept quoting it, but it was funny. It was just it wasn't.
It's not appropriate.
But it was it's not appropriate anyway. Which is to say that at this point I send nudes with my face in it because if I was going to ruin my career, did it?
It's already done.
Anyway. Back to our listener letter. This, guys, I'm so excited. This is a follow-up.
Yes.
This is a follow-up. If you recall, a couple of episodes ago, we had a listener letter submitted about some gay-ass shit happening. Somebody fucked their professor and was also fucking their professor's friend and then fucked both of them in the bathroom at a party for that sorority. And then they were like, oh, during Thanksgiving, we're going to all go to a cabin. To which I said, holla at your squirrel.
Yes.
If you're trying to link. And here's the follow-up to that. And my Aries hubris wants to let you know this is really just me trying to figure out if they are indeed trying to link. So,
I mean,
here we go. I'm going to read it. This is my first time reading it. So we're all going to react live on air.
Oh, this is beautiful.
Cool. And the message goes, first of all, Miriam, let's link, sis. Yes! I'm about to get ran a train on.
You're living life well.
And Rhythm, they definitely are Deltas. Sorry. Yes! I'm about to get ran a train on by some fucking Deltas. Yes.
I'm just going to remain silent at this point.
I am crying.
So excited.
It was inside that I cried.
I'm about to cry out outside from my loins. Let me begin by saying there is no place I feel safer than in the company of Black women.
Yes.
Same. Much of the growth that I have experienced, I attribute to the time, energy, and love that Black women have poured into me. I thought this trip would strictly be a freak fest, honestly, but it was so much more than that. Aww. When we got to the cabin, the sex began immediately. Yes. It was long, sweaty, passionate, and succulent. That's a plant, you fraud ass bitch. I live in Florida now. But I'm going to need to invest in some turtlenecks until these bite marks heal.
Yes.
Show the bite marks.
Live your life
Be proud
well.
of the bite marks, sis. God damn it. Fuck a turtleneck. Wear those bite marks
Life
proudly.
is short.
Yes,
Please. I never knew the kind of orgasm that being choked could bring out or choking someone else could bring. Ooh, I have to stop reading this. Actually, I need to collect myself. A bitch has been missing out. Yes, you have. And honestly, you didn't have to miss out had you emailed me earlier. Anyway,
They will learn. They will learn.
they'll learn. All my life, I had to fight for this. Listen, you wouldn't have had to had you emailed me earlier. Put my fucking Instagram on this podcast. You could have DM'd me.
You did.
You could have DM'd me.
She could have.
Aside from the sex, we spent the weekend goal setting. Aw, yes, goal setting sex. Getting vulnerable, laughing to the point where we couldn't breathe. The conversations I had were needed. I've been experiencing a rough patch in life, but it's just like Black women to swoop in and save the day. Wait. What was that?
I feel like people have given up on my life. Please keep reading.
I feel like a police came.
It was the police.
Pick up a police.
We did.
Where should I begin from?
Swoop in and save the day.
Okay, I'm gonna go from like a couple lines before that. Aside from the sex, we spent the weekend goal setting, getting vulnerable, laughing to the point where we couldn't breathe.
Goal setting.
Right?
This is wholesome and holistic.
This is wholesome sex. Like, I'm down for some wholesome. I'm not down for wholesome
I
sex
smell the air in
yet.
this
I'm not
cabin?
there emotionally yet. We couldn't breathe.
That's real. Be real about who you are and where you are.
I'm here to get choked and slapped. Don't you dare ask me about the future, bitch. Don't you dare bring up the future.
How dare you?
Invest in me. I don't even invest in me. You see these leggings?
Oh my God.
Oh shit. Back to the listener letter. The conversations I had were needed. I've been experiencing a rough patch in life, and it's just like Black women to swoop in and save the day. Surely is. Not only do I owe some of my best orgasms to these women, I owe a hell of a lot to growth. I realized so much about myself in those 72 hours we spent together. That's a lot of fucking time. We've agreed to keep this going until we feel the need to let it go. Is it happening in Florida or is it happening like near us? I need more details. Just so you know, Professor Bay is on her way to a doctoral program next fall and this person overshared. I'm going to just say insert Ivy League here. Yes, Ivy League.
Yes.
And her soror will be professing at an HBCU next fall, so I don't expect it to last forever. But listen,
Probably chaining.
Who needs it to
listen.
last forever? It lasts until it lasts.
Megabus is $1 with enough
the fuck
advance.
yes.
I'm trying to let you know, motherfucker. You better DM me.
That's real.
My fucking Instagram is in the description for this shit every episode. You better DM me, girl. I ain't fucking with you. You see my selfies, girl.
Yeah.
I'm mad you like a slick granddad. You see myself as
You see
girl.
myself as girl.
Where my DM at? This is the blessing I have been waiting for. In the words of Darryl, this is exactly why this country was founded.
Yes. Y'all better listen to the podcast.
You better get those yams every Thanksgiving,
Yes.
bitch. Also, if you haven't been tied by your wrist to a tree limb, wait a minute, hold on. My ancestors kicked in and said,
Take a
no,
breath.
ma'am.
No,
Wait a
no,
minute.
no.
Now, girl.
Keep reading.
Now, girl. In the middle of a Tennessee forest. Now,
Keep reading.
girl.
Keep
No,
reading.
ma'am.
No. Keep reading. You can't let me off like this. Go on. Keep reading.
With your legs wrapped around
Here
the
we go.
face of a woman.
Here you go.
Oh.
While another woman
Here you go.
is whipping your ass
Here you
ever
go.
so lightly.
Here you go.
I suggest you try
Here you
it
go.
in the near future. Now,
Here
I'm
you go.
torn.
I'm too triggered.
You're
I'm too
going to shut
triggered.
up. You're all going to shut up right now. You're going to shut up.
Daryl's enjoying
You're
it.
going to shut up. My spirit is telling me.
I'm Southern. It's a little too triggering for me.
Everything you just said makes me love you.
Oh.
I need for you to know that namaste.
Make it
The hoe
nasty.
in
The
me
hoe in me.
recognizes.
Yeah.
It
The
supports
hoe in
the
you.
hoe in you.
No, I feel like, and I can't remember the name of it, but there was an India Arie song where she was talking about like a tree that she visited in Savannah that like she looked at the tree and was like, "Were my ancestors hung here?"
Oh,
that's
fuck
what I'm
no.
feeling in my spirit. It's a little bit too. I'm Southern.
Here's the thing. Tie me up, but not to a tree.
Not to a tree, sis.
Tie me up and spank me, but not to a tree.
Like, what about this good bedpost? Why are we wasting
Yeah,
this?
why are we wasting this? Listen, this was a tree once. Why can't we just
Why?
tie me to the
Can we
wooden
pretend?
Goddamn.
Why am I tied to this tree?
Tie me up, not in a forest, not to a tree. I don't even like standing under trees, depending on how tall the tree is. Hold on, girl.
Especially like an old southern tree, like it's real thick. I'm good.
I'm
too triggered.
I don't go below DC for that exact reason, which is why if you're in Florida, I don't know when we finna link because.
Moral of the story is good for you for following up.
Give me your soror's number since she's gonna be at nearby Ivy League.
Slide into Miriam's DMs.
God damn it. I'm so sick. I am so sick of motherfuckers wanting to throw the oop. And this is also my Aries hubris, assuming that everyone wants to throw the oop. But I am so sick of motherfuckers who definitely want to throw the oop. But then they're just like, I'm just going to email the podcast. Girl.
Slide in them DMs.
My Instagram is under this fucking podcast.
Yeah, because the gag is I check the emails. So
I don't even check them shits.
You might want to slide in her DMs.
Damn it.
So yeah, send us your host stories at the number 3 Black Femmes FEMMES @gmail.com, or go to our website if you want to submit them anonymously, which is the number 3 Black FEMMES.com.
You can't see, but I'm throwing gang signs.
Gang, gang, gang.
And I am in my feelings.
Yes.
Because you want to be tied up to a tree in
I
Tennessee.
don't want no parts.
Tied up? Child, I have plans.
I don't want no parts.
God.
I'm hearing like Arrested Development's Tennessee, and like I'm seeing the tree and the she literally said like she was whipped while tied to the tree. I'm good.
I'm good on that.
I don't want no parts, sis.
I don't know, sis.
God bless you and love what you love, but I can't.
You are awakening the ancestral line. And why can't you be an avatar? Why can't you summon?
I'm not trauma bending, nigga. I guess I'm a poet, so I guess I am trauma bending for like a living. I guess I thrive off of trauma bending because I'm a fucking performance poet. So wait a minute.
Trauma bending.
But yeah, we all have our limits, and for me, I just
that's where I draw the line. But hey, girl, if you and your fucking
get what you like,
bays want to meet me in a bedroom,
I mean, you know,
there's a meeting in my bedroom.
Yes.
Hors d'oeuvres. I'm still available.
Yes, hors d'oeuvres. I actually literally want some hors d'oeuvres now.
No.
What's d'oeuvres?
Some hors d'oeuvres.
Yes. And here we are.
So my first time seeing the word hors d'oeuvres was like on The Sims, and it was like serve hors d'oeuvres, and I was like, yeah, serve the hors d'oeuvres.
Do that.
I was smart enough to say appetizer.
Yeah, I still can't spell it.
No?
It's
H apostrophe.
Listen, those 3 years in IB French, goddamn it, will not go to waste.
Yes.
It is H apostrophe. So
speak English.
That's
the time that I turned into Trump's America. If I can't spell it, because I can't spell hors d'oeuvres. Speak English.
Yeah, this is America.
Speak American.
We speak Americish.
Oh my God.
You want appetizers? You want some toys?
Nah, just apps. Just starters. Starters, that ass.
That's the
not even appetizers, nigga. Just starters. You want some starters?
How dare you oppress me with your like demand for standard English? I spell it this way.
Don't demand anything of me outside of the bedroom.
Don't demand anything of me in the bedroom.
Don't demand anything of me unless you serving like that.
Demand me in the bedroom, please.
Slinging.
I guess if you are
slinging.
What are you demanding?
That's true. And this is like a joke, but it's real. Like, I only accept certain volumes of voices depending on your penis size.
Look.
If you are yelling at me as if your dick is bigger than mine,
look!
I need for you to sit the fuck down.
That reminds me of an insult that my girlfriend once hurled at this random dude. It wasn't somebody she was having sex with. We were in college, and my girlfriend happens to not have a penis. But that was her insult at this dude. Like, he raised his voice.
What you want to.
And she was like, I feel like you just mad because my bigger than yours. And I was like, yeah. Like, what could he say? And he just left. It was great.
And this is a random
And to this day, she swears she didn't say it, but it was like the greatest moment of my life.
But this is the answer. I was listening to Broke But Cultured, episode 10.
Shout out to Broke But Cultured.
Yes. And they were talking about men having like penis obsessions and whether or not it exists.
It exists.
It definitely exists. And this is definitely one of those reasons where you can offend a dude so easily by just mocking his penis size.
Absolutely.
That is like an insecurity that all men are born with, that their penis is never big. And it's crazy because I've dealt with horse dick niggas.
Yes.
And they are all insecure. about not even like, and they know that they can have big ass dicks, but they're all like, I wish it was bigger. And I'm like,
I don't. No, thank you.
No. I've had to turn dick away.
Look,
I'm not 17 no more. Like,
oh my
I'm not
God.
17 no more. I can't do all that.
I'm triggered. Please don't say 17 again. Ooh, that's so specific for me.
I feel like that is a word though. Like you can like do and say certain shit. That's problematic, Miriam. I'm committing. So
you're
like,
my problematic fave today.
I feel like you can do and say certain shit to me, like depending on how you fucking me. Because like typically I'm the type of nigga where I'm just like, excuse me, like I am the best. You can't say anything to me in public.
I have agency.
I have agency. I'm an I have agency ass bitch, but like I don't like I just.
If you can't put me in my place and own it, then don't get in my
Here's
place.
the thing though, right? Like I don't be letting niggas put me in my place, but like
if you can put me in my place though,
for the first time,
Hello.
I'm like, let's like grip me up in public, and I'm like, that's fine. This is okay.
May or may not have witnessed that. Just saying, it was beautiful. It did things for me.
For the first time, I'm just like, yep, pull me by my shirt collar.
Like,
you're right.
Yeah.
Okay, time to go home.
Call me names.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
fine.
I'm stupid.
You so right. You are the most correct. I don't know
Is
what
this
I'm
it's
talking
like
about.
being stigmatized?
Yes.
I be making fun of bitches. Deadass. I be making fun of bitches. I'm just like,
Welcome.
I don't get it. Like, I don't understand. Bitch, we both
Welcome.
dumb. Hi, duh. Bitch, we dumb.
Welcome.
Duh.
And I have been dumb for dick. And you know what? I will be dumb for dick in the future.
For the rest of my
I'm going to be
life.
dumb for dick.
It's a beautiful thing.
Is
Just
this what
woke
it's
up
like
like,
getting
huh?
to your mid-20s? It's like just becoming dumb for dick.
It's a beautiful. I mean, I don't know what else there is in life. What's the glory in living? Anyway,
Dick and
Just in
chicken.
general, what is the point? Why am I
chicken.
still here?
chicken.
Happy 2017, I guess.
yay. So yeah, find us on the socials at Rhythm Keen, at John the Baptist,
Hey.
And I'm on just Facebook. Darryl the Griot.
at Just on Facebook. Yes.
Miriam has been threatening to lose
Bust it open.
and let the yum yums out, and the yum
telling
yums
you.
are now officially.
I'm officially unbuttoning my shirt. 'Cause
There are reasons I have
I'm
A-cups.
exhausted in this is my way of saying let's wrap up the episode.
Here we are.
I'm an hour late for an appointment.
Look, so happy
And by appointment, I mean
2017.
sex date.
Yes, sex tape. Sex tape, sex tape, sex tape.
Yo.
So like,
Jesus,
yeah, they're so beautiful. Look at them.
Thank you, guys.
Oh
this
my
is my
God.
like.
I just can't
Stop. I'm
relate.
feeling unsure about my sexuality.
I'm prepping you for tomorrow.
Look, you need to be prepped.
Sugar.
You better prepare.
She got some. Her cup's running over.
Look, and when them look, and when them things come out that bra,
I am not ready.
you better be ready.
Them cups running
To
over.
You better prepare.
I love a good pair of urgent titties, but I'm just sitting. They like, come here.
I love urgent tits.
I love urgent ass titties. This is 3 Black Femmes.
Thanks for listening.
It's gonna keep happening. If we don't cut it off, the monster will keep
It has to.
growing. It has to.
The hormone monster.
I am your female hormone monstress.
I think we are collectively like your gender non-conforming hormone monster.
Monstrix.
I love that
Monstex.
Monstrix.
We are
Three black.
We are all drunk.
3 back beds.
3 on our back fins.
Hey.
Bye.
Bye.